Motivation is a really tricky thing, isn't it?
Yeah, oh, for sure.
We get motivated so easily. You know, a lot of people, they're excited to start doing new things, new beginnings, projects. And while motivation comes easily to us, it's really hard to execute on that.
I would say let's separate inspiration from motivation,
Mm.
because what you just described is mostly about inspiration. Like you saw a video about cool project, and now you feel truly inspired
Oh,
to
yeah.
go and do something. But this goes away at some point. So this is inspiration. But when we are talking about real motivation, motivation is something much more lasting in time,
Mm.
and also much more grounded in your values, in what's important for you, in your needs, while inspiration can pop up for an half hour or for an hour and then just flow away like it was never there.
It's such a great point, actually, because we not often think about it as motivation versus inspiration,
Yeah.
that we think it's the same thing. When we are inspired, we are motivated
Oh,
to
yeah.
start doing new things,
Yeah.
but it doesn't really work like that. And maybe this is the actual barrier why so many people, they are excited to start something new, if it's a project, if it's a new diet, going to the gym, whatever it might be. But then inspiration fades away,
Yep.
and then nothing actually happens.
Oh, actually, a lot of things happen when inspiration fades away because we become frustrated. If we talk about motivation, it's, as I mentioned, it's much more grounded in what we really need. So, how can we actually fulfill this need? And usually, it's a long process.
That's such a great point, because I think the biggest mistake that people make is when we think about motivation, we think about what we want and not necessarily what we need.
Yeah.
And understand what we actually need requires, as you just said, a deeper process, deeper reflection, maybe sitting in this discomfort for a
Oh,
little
for
while.
sure. Sitting in discomfort for a little while, it's something that needs to be there.
You know, when you think about your practice, you work with so many people who are coming from all the possible walks of life. How would you define motivation in your own words?
Mm. Motivation is not something that happens with us. Motivation is something that goes from within,
Mhm.
because when your brain see this path and think that it's achievable, that it can work,
Mhm.
you actually have no other way than to go and do things on this path. Like if you're faced with procrastination, like something that called procrastination,
Mhm.
it's not the lack of motivation, it's a strong motivation to do the other thing.
That's a wonderful point. Procrastination is not a lack of motivation, but it's the actual motivation to do something
Just to
else
do something
or
else.
not to do something that we need to do. I really love how we dive deep into this topic, because it makes me think about all of those New Year resolutions, you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
that people build. And usually it would be this beautiful map with all the motivational things
Yeah.
that people kind of get inspired by and they want to achieve in their lives. But then it just disappears. Or I see it, by the way, in my yoga studio so much.
Uh-huh.
Beginning of January, the classes are absolutely packed because everybody is trying to fulfill their New Year resolutions.
Yep.
This year, I'm going to go to yoga every day. And then little by little, it fades away, and you see how it gets to this normal amount of people
Yeah.
within the studio. Why do we keep tricking ourselves by, thinking that if we build this board, it's going to motivate us, or we get motivated for a very short period of time, and then we completely forget about it? What can we do to actually make the motivation stick?
That's a good question and a long process. So first of all, I have to admit that um, sometimes these like boards and everything, it actually works,
It
because
does.
from one side it helps you to structure what you want, It
Mm.
helps you to ask yourself questions about how do you envision this? What
Mhm.
exactly do you want? How it should look like? So you make yourself to find these little details that
Mhm.
help your brain to build the plan, to build more detailed plan than it was before without you asking yourself these questions. So sometimes for some people, for some time, it's enough information to actually make some steps ahead. But
Mhm.
what we forgot usually is that as soon as you make a few steps, the circumstances, the situation changed, and now
Oh.
you have to reassess and you have to think about details again. Another very tricky point is that our culture, I mean Western culture, it focused on the outcomes a lot. When we focus on the outcome, we start to compare a lot of things, and comparison actually kills all the fire.
And this is probably a huge killer for the motivation,
Yeah,
right? When we
yeah,
get into this point of comparison, or because initially we got motivated because we had this outcome in mind,
yep,
and we didn't see the outcome comes as fast as we envisioned this outcome to come, and then we lose motivation. And it could be
of
in
course.
anything, right? It could be in going to the gym, getting this promotion at work,
Yeah,
starting on the project. Suddenly we see that,
building
okay,
relationships.
in relationships we don't get what we want in a short period of time, so we say, okay, I just don't feel like it. This is very interesting to think about motivation in such way, because what I often find, I mean, with myself, with a lot of other people that I work with, talk to, that, we get motivated by this idea or the inspiration, like we said at the very beginning. And so very often, either we stop halfway through because
Mm-hmm.
suddenly, for whatever reason, we
Mm-hmm.
don't reassess
Yeah.
and we lose the motivation, or we don't even get to the point when we start. Because when we actually supposed to do the thing, the motivation is not there anymore.
When you think about you being motivated to do something, how do you feel?
Yeah, it's a great question. Actually, when I think about
Yep.
motivation itself, it feels like something very positive and comfortable.
And something that makes your life easier and so on.
Absolutely, yes.
So all of this is not true. It's not about motivation at all, like really seriously. We tend we used to think, and we hear about it from all over the places, like
Hmm.
any Instagram page, TikTok page,
Yeah.
whatever. Any person will tell you that you need motivation to make things easier.
Mm.
What I know from real life, your motivation comes when your life gets harder.
The real motivation
The
that
real
works.
motivation that works.
This kick
That's
in the
why,
ass.
yes, that's why motivation, it's not something that will make your life easier. Motivation, it's something that will make your life harder because, again, if you think about it, when you are motivated, you have so many things to do. So, motivation makes your life harder. And also, being motivated means that in every moment of time, you actually need to face discomfort because you
Yeah.
still haven't done what you need to do.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard to get to the gym. It's gonna be hard to do this project. It's gonna be hard to make these connections. It's gonna be hard to do all of that, but I'm okay with it.
This is a great conversation. I mean, I don't know for how long we've been talking, but in
Yeah.
this couple of minutes, the biggest aha moment, I guess, for me is that we have to stop sugarcoating the motivation,
Oh yeah,
because we have
that's a
this
good way
tendency
to
to
say
look
it.
at it as something so positive, so wonderful, and then when I think about how I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning and I will be so happy, I will put my running
No, I will
shoes on
not.
and go for a run,
I will not.
and then I don't have it, and then
No,
I think, well, I
I'm
don't
not.
have the
I'm
motivation to
not
do things.
motivated. Yeah, yeah, but it's not that.
Yeah.
It will be hard to wake up in the morning. I will hate my running shoes and so on, but I'm okay with it.
So I guess the real motivation is when we do it anyway. We wake up in the morning, we hate the running shoes that we see in front of us, and we do it anyway, and that's what the real motivation is,
Yes,
isn't it?
yes.